jealousy and possessiveness in relationships and marriage, understanding that jealousy and possessiveness and what triggers these things. So we'll be looking at how lack of trust, communication, insecurity, past experiences, fear of loss can trigger jealousy. We'll also delve into how social media and societal expectations can also fuel jealousy. There are also real-life examples of this story. You know, there are so many of it. And we'll be sharing tips on how effective communication can help deal with jealousy and possessiveness. Of course, we'd like you to call into the show. We'd like you to join the conversation. The numbers are right there on the screen, and we're also streaming on YouTube. We didn't take any comments on the previous topic. Can we quickly see if there are comments on the previous topic so that we talk about that before delving into this very, very juicy one?
Okay. Smart women on the show. This is coming from Aunt Nam. Moses Ade says, Nam, yes, because someone must have interest in your research and be willing to fund it. Okay, so I'm taking it from the middle.
Hafix World said, my friend is having this issue. Ever since she got a good job, her husband is angry with her. The marriage is almost breaking.
Okay, Hafsa says, I dreamt to be married at 23, but by then I didn't even have a suitor. Would I have married myself just to achieve that dream? Or force any man to come and marry me?
Yetunde Shonaiki said, Dr. Ibukun Awoshika is one of our lectures emphasized the need to study a man's character and not be married to a fool.
Okay, Sheung says, sacrificing your job, career, or financial goals for marriage should never be one-sided or forced. It should come from mutual understanding and long-term planning.
Exactly. Rolade Williams disagrees with the word choice and sacrifice. Says it's called sacrifice. Let's not trivialize it. Whatever choice we make or forgo is still sacrifice made. Let's call it what it is. Yorubas will say we do good so we can remind that person later.
Aunt Nam says people should stay in their lane when choosing a spouse. These women know the kind of men that they are going into this relationship with. They probably were hoping to change them.
All right, so there was something I didn't mention as I was rounding off, support system, and it was you that mentioned it, and I think it's very important.
Very key.
The only way that a successful relationship, if we tie to relationship, can thrive where sacrifices are made, where dreams are fulfilled, is where there is support system. I can do what I'm doing now because I have support system. We are all able to do what we're doing because we have support system. If you see anything working, it's because people are supporting it to make it work. You know, so let's support your own to make it work. People dealing with insecure partners who are extremely possessive and easily get jealous have it tends to be something that weighs on the relationship, not just marriage. It weighs on the relationship. So we're hoping to give tools. You see, I have wise women here to give tools to help those going through this. And this happens to both men and women. Relationship with someone who is jealous can put a heavy strain on one's life, where you feel almost tempted to be reporting every situation back to back. I had to counsel a friend, a man, that I felt that he wasn't being sensitive to his wife's insecurities. And so I had a conversation and I told him, I said, see, you have married someone that is a bit insecure. You have to help her. And then the man started listing all the things he has done. The marriage is over now. But he listed all the things he has done, that I would always text her, I would send her messages, if I'm going out, I would post picture, I have to just over and over again, like, I'm with this guy. He said, which guy? I'll take picture with the guy and send to her because she does not believe anything I say. And so it feels like I have done enough and I can't change her. But I would like to hear from you, Nima. What tools would you want to give for someone who is in a relationship with a person who is jealous and possessive? You know, before when we were young, we used to use jealousy as a sign of love.
No, jealousy is an element of love. You can't. The Prophet Sallallahu says, is that all the elements of jealousy a man must have, else you won't protect what you have. That was talking to men about protecting their women. And women also must have it. But the healthy one, when you cross that line, you self no say you don't enter small insanity. So what I can advise is what I only practice because I don't study this thing for any school. Yes. You know, give yourself room, some place to breathe. You know, we are all in love with our loves. And at some point, they go, you know. they must test life. You can't choke them. They are not chickens. Even chickens, if they release them daily. So you must allow them go. And in that allowing them go, you must allow yourself breathe. You cannot also police them along where they go. You worry yourself to insanity. I think, apart from that, I don't have any
that you can think of right now.
I think you should also have your life. Focus on it. Do some things that, find your fulfillment. Because when you finally get back together, you don't want to be the one asking, where have you been, without having things to say about where you have been, what you have been able to do. Me, I like my time or my me time. I hardly get it these days, but I used to enjoy it a lot. Everybody should go. Recently I found out my office is my safe space. When I get into my office, there's this 10 minutes I used to take. My former secretary didn't know it. She'll come with all the gist. Hey, madam, it's now I brought the file. But my new secretary, I don't know where that girl learns it. When I come in that first 10 minutes, I don't get disturbed. I lock the door. Sometimes I sleep off when I'm just, calming down from all the stress or whatever. And that's where I found my safe space. That silence I get when I come in, I love it. And so I know how healthy it is. I think that escape, going and coming, renewing your stories, renewing your experience to share with your love, is also part of life. That's the only thing I can tell.
For now, I know what I would tell you to get another thing.
Yeah.
Out.
So I think we need to. There's a way we speak English in this part of the world that confuses me when we now want to expand on it, right? So I had to go quickly to the dictionary to understand if jealousy is related to relationship, which is not. But first of all, let me tell you the meaning of being possessive. It says demanding someone's total attention and love. That's being possessive. So with this explanation now, it's not wrong to be possessive. I want my husband to be able to love me and give me attention.
Total.
I don't want him to be able to give Nima small attention. Give Abigail small. Give Topper small. I want your eyes.
I don't want to share you.
Thank you. And it's not a bad thing, right? Now, the meaning of jealousy is feeling or showing an envious resentment of someone or their achievements, possessions, or perceived advantage.
So those are two different things.
Two different things. So for jealousy in relationship is a different ballgame where the man is not jealous of your achievement. That's different. But when it comes to sexual relations and romance, it's possessiveness we're looking at. But there's also another word, which is obsession. Because I was thinking in my head, what are we trying to explain here? Let me quickly get it. The state of being obsessed with someone or something. So where I see this obsession and obsessive behavior is what we now call possessiveness, where you don't want your partner to have any relations with anybody. You don't want him to talk to anybody. Even in the office, he should not smile with any woman. You are constantly monitoring him. There's no trust. You are checking his phone. If he tells you he's here, you are calling. Do video call. Let me see. I've seen partners where they go out. They want to call. It has to be, what are you doing? I want to show Oga that all of us are here. I want to show Madam that all of us are here. That becomes a problem. And that is why we're saying that it is not healthy. And you can see some of these signs when you're starting the relationship. People that are obsessive and, they don't hide it. They would cut off interactions that you're having with, even as close as your family members are. There are certain things they don't allow. They will say, this one that every time you are calling your mother. Is it every day you have to call your mother? Is it every day your sister will just come into the house? Is it, you can always tell that they have this. They don't hide it. It's not hidden. Because it comes from a place of anger and insecurity. Where they believe that if they don't hook you, they cannot have you. Because they don't see themselves as valuable, that you will naturally come to them. You will naturally choose to be with them. So they are doing everything to make sure that you don't have a choice. In fact, I had one relationship that I was helping them go through. I realized that the guy had something to do with somebody else. At that point, he had not done the actual cheating, but he was in talks with another person. And then the girl found out. And she went to go and take drugs to kill herself. That's abuse. She's the abusive one, as far as I'm concerned. Because she will use that manipulation to hook that guy forever. Any small thing, I will cut myself. Any small thing, I will kill myself. So you are manipulating this person because you do not trust that the person can choose to be with you because of your insecurity. That's the extreme.
Taking it to another level.
Yes, and it happens. So they may not tell you. They will manipulate with cry. They will manipulate with silent treatment. They can manipulate with anything. This one was just extreme. That's why we saw that she had to take things to want to take her life in order to keep the man.
What if she doesn't just know how to handle pressure? Not because of the
It's
man.
a
There are
problem.
people who
If
don't
you
know how
to handle pressure, it's a problem.
I know
It's lack of
And
maturity.
you come for therapy.
And relationships should be for mature people.
that are
So
whole.
if someone is broken,
Yeah.
being in a relationship with such a person
To
requires
heal you.
you need to go and heal yourself,
I
so
get.
that the responsibility is not on me
the other
to
person.
manage
You.
your insecurities and your weakness. But let me
Your
hear from
partners
you,
grow
Abigail.
together now. You know, you of course, you meet people. You meet one mature person and the other immature person, and they find a middle ground at the end of the day. You know it happens. It's just what you want in the relationship.
Trauma, sha.
But
Maturity today, they have trauma. Go ahead.
so I don't think being possessive is a bad thing. No. I feel it's a form of accountability.
Okay.
Yes, you're mine. They said two shall become one. So if you're me, I have to know what's going on. And if there's accountability, there will not be room for temptations and certain mistakes.
Okay.
So if you're going somewhere, and I feel like, let's just use Nigeria for instance. I'm not comfortable where you're going to. I don't know where you're going to. I have to know where you're going to. I have to know the people you're with, because, you know, people go out and don't come back. Accountability. You have to be accountable. And if I'm calling you every time, you've told me, okay, I'm spending just 2 hours and 3 hours, and then after 3 hours, I'm calling you, what's
Where
up?
are you?
Or even while you're there, I'm talking. I don't think it's a bad thing. I think you should be accountable, because I feel that because of this coinage, jealousy and possessiveness, a lot of persons have used it as an avenue to do anyhow
To
in
stray.
marriages. You're
To
saying, you're
stray
choking
away.
me, so I'm looking for peace.
Space.
That's because you don't want to be accountable to your partner. Yes. First, if you love your partner, it shouldn't be a problem for you to actually tell your partner, okay, I'm so, okay, babe, I can't talk now. It's not a problem. So what I would say is people should learn their partner's love languages. Waiting be your love language. Before you go come table and I begin to do lovey-dovey, what's your love language? I've seen people who don't like clingy partners. They will tell you from beginning, okay, I don't like clingy people. I've seen somebody that says he doesn't like people touching his head. You will know from beginning.
What if you have one button? My person no like.
You know, there are words of affirmation, quality time, physical touch, gift sharing, and all that.
They don't even know.
And all of them, different partners with different. If your partner's love language is
Quality time.
It's good food.
You can't say no. Me, I'm not. I like being
By myself.
It won't work. So I think from the table, you
should
push already
have that
say it.
conversation, yeah.
See, I go out a lot. Before I will marry you, you see I club a lot. You know. Yes, I'm a night bird though. So discuss these things before you get into the relationship, so that you not use grammar and be
That's if you
spoiling
know
you.
yourself already.
Before
Let me
you
take
know
Deborah.
yourself.
Deborah has called in from Bayelsa. Welcome to the show. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Deborah. I'm calling from Bayelsa State. Now,
Awesome.
concerning today's show. Okay, I think in relationship, it has to be a two-way thing. Because if from the beginning of the relationship, if it's not defined, it's going to be affected. Their relationship will be affected. Do you get?
Yes.
If what the guy or the lady wants is not defined, it will affect their marriage.
Thank you so
Okay,
much.
so let me
Deborah.
land with my thoughts. I will say, apart from knowing your partner's love language, get busy with your time. You're married to this person. You're not, you're not Siamese twins. So if he's going out for an event, what are you doing? You should be busy instead of checkmating, because you can't checkmate an adult. You can't control an adult. So as Nimat said, and the last one I will say is, have your own, if you have a high self-esteem, if you know your self-worth, you will not be overly possessive or jealous. You know what you bring to the table.
I love that.
Yes, you know what you bring.
I love that.
Leave that thing.
I love
Leave that thing.
So
possessiveness is healthy.
No.
She said that. I said a sense of self-worth. And she said,
so when you have the self-worth,
too much.
even the man you're living knows that he will be doing himself a lot of disservice by maybe making you angry or not coming back to you. You know, there are people that when you lose, you say, I've lost someone.
Yes, we
So
know.
be that person.
We are that person. But I'm telling you on this table now that you cannot just be opening. So let me give you an instance. When we were dating, I just realized that there's this girl that used to just come around, brother, okay, I come for counseling, brother. Then when they're not doing the counseling, her teeth is here.
She'll be laughing.
She will be laughing. Anytime I pass, the teeth,
Jealous.
what are you looking
what's going
for?
on?
Is it counseling or something else?
So why is she laughing? Anyhow, when they're counseling, you're supposed to be a serious matter, Abi. You
But if laugh day inside.
No, laugh no day inside. She was just grinning from ear to ear. She's so relaxed. I said, brother, this counseling has to stop because I don't get it. He said, why? I said, no, the counseling has to stop. You're not the only brothers leader in the fellowship. Let them find another brothers leader because I don't understand this smile. And I was in my rights to do so because I later found out that she had a game plan. So possessiveness, see, I'm not asking for too much. Love me. Love.
So you
Can we
so
talk about
what she did was no, she had defined it.
No.
So let's not say unhealthy.
She's talking
let's say
about
obsession.
No.
So
Hold on,
possessiveness
hold
is
on.
not a bad thing.
Possessiveness is a rich family. Calm down, because the word, the way we understood the word, it generally is how we should leave it. You know, when we put it like this, now people say, it's busy God that said it on live TV.
Hey, boy, it's dictionary.
So I can be possessive.
English
Some people are
language.
so possessive. Their mother-in-law is knocking at the door outside. They don't want to see. And if they come now, my husband, I was at that point one time. My husband's brother had been abroad for so long. And then when he visited that night, I did not see my husband. I waited 1 a.m.
They went out.
And that time,
they were gisting.
They were gisting. He now slept off on the floor while his brother was on the bed. So I now crawled past twice. That one now woke him up. He said, is that the one that said that should come? That one say, you they crawl. I say, they crawl, I be a one knock. If not be out of respect, if I bang that door, But he was fine. He was in his right to have missed his brother, to have a conversation with his brother. It's okay that he was there. But the way I called the checker, I said, because I was a young bride. Where I am right now, I beg you, now you can drink for 2 minutes.
Can you imagine?
Come on when you're ready.
I reject this.
No, but that's how I am now. Really.
No, I think
can be indoors.
matching.
Yes, you can be hosting his entire family as head of family outside. And I'm in my room. When he consigned me, they will shout. In fact, my neighbors already know my name.
Me, I have not matured out of my possessiveness.
Are you serious?
I have not matured out of my possessiveness.
I've
learned how to manage it better, but I have not matured out of it.
No.
I am possessive. I want attention. I'm telling you myself. I want attention, and I let him know. I want you to be accountable.
You are not first wife or first son. Right now where I am, if you do not tell me something, I really don't want to know.
In support.
Yeah, because you give me responsibilities.
Pioneer Capital said men should allow their wives to have their phone password.
I have his
visa.
password.
Also, don't give your spouse any reason to
one.
suspect you. Be open when you're open. There's no room for
But let me say this though.
That's making you suspect.
I think that there's a major lesson that I learned in my journey, because I have to acknowledge I'm actually a very, very possessive person. I can tilt towards being a little bit on the monitoring.
You like this? I'm shocked.
I'm the nicest person to everybody. You see my husband? Oh no. We don't play there. We don't play there. No. I don't play with him. Even my relationship with him is very, very different from my relationship with every other person. So I can be really like, well, he might fight. Even like, you don't fight anybody, I don't fight anybody. But you see my husband, I fight my husband. Because you and I, we are in the same trouser. Yeah, so your decision affects my life forever. So you must make the right decision. So but I had to learn to get a life. I had to learn to get friendship. I had to learn because I was loving to choking point for him.
You realize.
And I realized that I should give him room to breathe.
Of course.
But I couldn't create that room because it was my life. he and my, so I had to
diagnose now.
You know,
their
sibling.
Anxious attachment style.
Maybe.
And he is probably an avoidant attachment
He had
style.
his siblings. You didn't have siblings.
I did not have, so I had to explain to him.
Everybody, when I don't do 2 hours. 2 hours is too much. I don't make everybody come they go.
So, no, but I had to understand myself that I didn't have siblings. My only love relationship with my parents. So, being you that Tiana am loving me, is from my parents to my husband's house. So, my husband was like everything. He's still everything, but I have friends. And those friends help me to balance it. It was important for me to have friends. So I had to pray about it because those friends helped me to create a bit of balance. If not, I would have used love to finish
Let me tell you something. This is just very pivotal, and unfortunately, we don't talk about this enough. So back in the day, marriages were for a reason. Friendships were for a reason.
All the shifts.
So now, because everybody wants to be on their own, we now put all the burden of friendship, your club, family on one person.
Thank you.
The romantic partner should not carry the burden of being your friend, your best friend, your family, your father, your mother, and also be a romantic lover. In this, it's heavy, and we don't talk about this because many people don't understand what's going on. That's why after a while, everybody just gets tired. Like, I'm just tired. Can we just pack up? Let's just go, because you've not had an outlet aside from your romantic partner to share. To
don't forget, it's supposed to be romance.
It's supposed to be romance. So you now bring family problem. You bring motherhood, you bring everything to him. The burden is too much on one person. So the best is, I like the fact that you now highlighted, you now have friends, have relationships outside your marriage. Have friends. If you want to belong to a club, those days I used to see my grandmother go to clubs.
Now we understand.
Weekends like this, they have their own meeting club, this meeting club, this everything. When they come back home, they are refreshed. Then you can now use your freshness to face your romantic lover and back inside the room.
Let me take Gladys. Welcome to the show and welcome to the conversation. How you doing?
My sister Abigail, you understand it?
I understand fully.
I'm a first-time caller.
Yay, welcome to the show.
I really enjoy watching your show a lot.
Thank you.
Kind of empowering for women most of the times, if not all of the time.
Thank you.
What I want to say about this jealousy and possessiveness, sometimes I believe it's healthy, but there should be a level where when it crosses the line, you know that it has become something else. It's nice and okay for us to be jealous for our partners, our husbands, our wives, but it should not be something that will make the relationship sour or that will bring aggression or stuff like that. And another thing I would like to say about it is that sometimes distrust, when your spouse has broken your loyalty, you don't trust that person again. So you tend to be very jealous. If, peradventure, I'm a woman and my partner or my husband has cheated on me, the moment I see him with a lady, my brain just goes somehow and like I start fighting from within. I'm fine anything, I start fighting physically. That's just an example. So trust issues sometimes make women or men have jealousy or possessiveness problems. But most of the times, I think it's healthy, but there should be boundaries. There should be limits. It shouldn't go out of order. It shouldn't go out of order. The truth, you should understand yourself. Trust yourself to the extent that when you hear something or see something, you will be able to be calm and want to find out what really happened or why did this thing happen before you start reacting irrationally. So that's my
thank you so much. Thank you. I love that. I also think that it brought up our conversation around betrayal brought me to a point of previous experience of betrayal. If you've been in a relationship with a cheat before, the likelihood of you being a more suspicious partner is very high because you have been once bitten, twice shy. So how can we help someone who has been in a relationship who has been betrayed before, or maybe your father was a serial cheat? That also happens that's what you grew up with, where you grew up with a father that was always cheating, or you also had past cheating relationship, when you get married, you likely would be more suspicious because this is your template that you are coming in with. How can we help such a person to find a healthy...
I can even understand those who have experienced it. The people who watch it from film.
And now bring it to
the particular Asian channel that when you watch it, you just create all those their future as your reality. Think
no, but you know, movies are like movies are like they can become a reality. They real life.
Yeah.
Your brain can begin to think of it.
Hey, but it's not your own reality now. You now watch it and start to suspect everybody.
Let me take Beauty. Beauty has called it from London. Let's not waste Beauty's credit. Welcome to the show. Good morning.
Good morning, beautiful lady.
Good morning.
The topic for today. I just want to add my own view.
Okay.
Now, jealousy and this word.
Oh, so sorry we lost that call, but you know,
Okay, so that's where
I was saying, I was going somewhere that, you know, for some people, those were their experiences from their past. And it will be important that you heal. But I know those who are worry-warts, who work themselves up from circumstances. Okay, I didn't experience this, maybe Abigail did, but after I will come home. I was at that point when I was, you know, doing a lot of divorce cases. I would just come home. It was domestic violence cases. It not happened from my house. But that just walk up past me. Just because somebody had, you know, poured in their problems, I couldn't separate from it from the office. I carried it home, and then it affected my home. I had to work myself to that point where once you are telling me it has ended, it has finished, I'm able to detach from it. You know, you get there. So some people really, those are the experiences. When they come into that marriage, they should acknowledge that problem. Because it's
verbalize it with your partner.
And yes, and explain it so that you're able to. And you also must be deliberate about detaching from that experience and allowing yourself experience a new relationship. Because if you carry it into every relationship, everybody is a suspect.
Yeah, I watched a movie. I watched some series back to back, and there was a lot of cheating in those movies, and I became more FBI for a season, and I had to remind myself, like, why are you doing this? You know, because I'm self-aware enough to know that I'm being more anxious than I usually would be, and it wasn't based on anything he did. It was just because I had watched a movie where the guy was a bad guy. He was such a bad guy that I was not projecting what I got from that movie. So when you say his film is not ordinary film, when you watch films about it gets into your mind. So I had to stop it. There's a series I was watching. I stopped it because that series kept over and over again about trauma going from one generation to the next. And I said, why am I watching this?
But that's not your story.
It's not my story, and it would not be my story, so I'm not going to watch it anymore. So I stopped. So I think that this thing about movies and what you watch, you might not know that that's where it's triggering an insecurity you probably already had. So if you are watching something about cheating and all of that, stop watching it because you don't need it. Watch romantic comedy. Watch the one that will make you laugh. The one that will love. Watch Acholugo. Buy the house for me. Watch it again and again and start visualizing the fact that the man will just come and say, I have bought the street for you.
Just to get your number.
Just to get your number.
So I think many of us are traumatized and we have not healed and we are not aware. So some people are on one spectrum of not being aware that they even have trauma. That the life that they are living right now is not even the life they are meant to live. There's something we say in life coaching, who is driving your red car? They are not the ones driving their red car. They are living a life that either their mother has lived, their father has lived. Everything is embedded in the subconscious, and that's what they are living. There are some on a spectrum where they understand that, okay, I am traumatized, but they are not ready to get the necessary healing. And when you're in that spot, you get into a relationship. Everything that is your trauma can be triggered by what your partner is doing. So he comes to the studio, he smiles with Abigail, and because I already have a trauma of infidelity or lack of trust or someone cheating behind, that smile he smiled at Abigail has to explain to me why he's smiling at Abigail, right? The smile would have just been an innocent smile. He could have smiled at any other person. So we need to understand where we are as a people. And I like the fact that we're not rushing people to get into marriages very fast these days. We're allowing people to mature to a certain level before they now start getting into marriages. Because when you get into, you know, if it's a relationship, we can easily break up. Nobody knows. Carry my bag, you carry your bag. We are done with the relationship. But when it's marriage and there's a breakup that is coming, it affects every other person, the family, the children, and all of that. So it's important that we pay a lot more attention to who we are. Self-awareness is key. why am I reacting this way? Why am I this anxious? Why am I this possessive? Why am I this obsessed? What is going on? What is there in my subconscious that I have not healed? Could it be from how I saw my father act, or how I saw my mother act, or how, you know, it's been in my lineage that this is it? And that film you are running away from, it's not for you to run away from trauma, it's for you to understand that the battles you don't fight is waiting for your children. There's nothing. You see how these household enemies we call when we are praying? It's not that somebody is doing you, it's that you are doing yourself if you don't heal certain things. So if you understand it, then you can now start looking, why do I act this way? Why do I do this? Man, know thyself. And then you can prefer how you can move forward. If you need to get a therapist, get a therapist. Because I do not understand why you'll be in a situation, in a relationship where you cannot trust. It's a problem.
Let me tell you a joke. My husband was sleeping in the afternoon one day. Sarah Yeku was doing community report on TV News. And then as she was rounding up the news, somebody sleeping, I woke up. I'm Sarah Yeku, reporting for TV News. I said, well, that's Shelley.
You have said it before now.
He woke up and said it.
He woke up and called, he likes her voice.
Okay.
I say,
I know,
Sarah, me and you.
She has said,
Thank God you don't have that trauma.
To you.
Honestly.
I came to office to come and ask Sarah, what happened? I don't know before. That's how life is.
No, but you see how you took it as a joke now. Somebody would have thought that Sarah is doing something that is making my husband attracted to her, and it becomes an issue.
Or start thinking that he's so there's no need. We need to love ourselves. And honestly, we're out of time. But I think that Cinema that was saying she's not going to share tools. Is it not you that have shared tools at the end of the day? We need to realize that this thing called trauma, whether we acknowledge it or not, if it is already there, it is there, and it plays out. And it will be sad for the person on the receiving end. Insecurity is trauma. If you've always felt rejected growing up, most likely you would get into a relationship and put the burden of affirming you on that person. So I think it's extremely important. I like what Abigail said about accountability. If you are in a relationship, you're accountable to your partner. So you should be able to let your partner know where you're going to and all of that. Honor your partner with your accountability. Have a sense of self-worth. Love yourself. Know that you are valuable. Know what, like, I am the table. If you miss this table, you have missed a whole lot. Or yours is your case. And don't, Nima, don't look at another person's table and be harassing your own table. Build your own table too. If you have married somebody, you know, sometimes they'll look at us like this and be saying, why are you not like this one? Somebody is building this table. Build your own table. Then the idea about being productive and being busy. Because if you are not busy, you might end up using that time to occupy and keep somebody else, workshop. You know, I don't mind devil's workshop kind of thing. Yes, and I think that this talk about betrayal is so important. We did not dig into it much, but if you have been betrayed before, please go for therapy. If you are in a relationship and your partner has betrayed you, you might think you've forgiven, but both of you should go for therapy. It will help you in managing the relationship going forward. Therapy is a beautiful thing. It helps you to take a better look at life. And we have many amazing life coaches. Pay them. BC is one of them. Pay them. Let them help you understand your emotion and heal so that you are a complete human being dealing with life, not carrying baggages from the past. Thank you, ladies, for an amazing show. I have professors, you know, on the table today, so it was a resourceful show. If you missed any part of it, you missed a whole lot. Go to YouTube and watch the replay. That's what we can take today. You will meet them again tomorrow. That's my wonderful ones in the middle there for your view pigeon. For me, tomorrow. It is next week. From Nima and I, it is still next week. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye.